Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I'll going to explain you how we can create elastic container service. So there are two ways we can host these elastic containers. One is like that we can use AWS Fargate service where AWS will be managing entire infrastructure, and other ways we can maintain all the things with the help of EC2 instance. Like we can create EC2 instance, we can register in ECS, and then we can deploy our containers into that. So I already logged into management console. Let me go to this Elastic Container Service. So in this video, I will tell you how you can deploy that Elastic containers with that public IP and access your containers directly with the help of public IP, because there are multiple ways or multiple architecture which we can use. So normally elastic containers we use when we have that less workloads and we don't need that EKS to get in place, because EKS will help us to manage our multiple containers. It is a kind of orchestrator tool. With elastic containers also will be achieve all the things like auto scaling, then custom domains, or doing some security things. All those things we'll be able to do it with the help of ECS also, but EKS is in more detailed way, like where we can manage our big infra. So let's create one elastic containers to install that Nginx, to deploy that Nginx. So here I'll be just showing you how we can deploy Nginx. So basically first what we need to do is we just need to create a cluster. So let's say I'm just creating demo cluster. I'm using AWS Fargate, that is serverless. If you want to manage entire infra by yourself to install all the things, then you can use Amazon EC2 instances. Then monitoring, for now I'll just keep it disabled, and tags for now I'll not give. I'll just create this cluster. Yeah, so while cluster is in creation mode, I'll just go to this task, and for the time being I'll just define my task definition. So let me create this task definition. So I'll just name as Nginx deployment. Then infrastructure I am just giving as AWS Fargate. That OS level architecture and network mode I am giving Linux only. And that CPU, like what amount of CPU your containers will be needing, that we need to give it here. Task role, you can create this ECS task role. If you want any help, means you can just click on this info. Based on that this definition, you can create that ECS task execution rule. Or please let me know if you want to make some video on this task roles and IAM roles and all. I'll just make a video and I'll let you know what also. Maybe after this, after that a container is deployed, I'll show you what all things I have created in this ECS task execution rule. Then container detail we need to give. So now that name I am giving as Nginx, and that image name is also Nginx. So what it will do, it will go to that container registry, that public container registry, and it will try to pull Nginx from there. Container port is 80. That container name port, that name of the port I am just giving Nginx port 80, or directly 80 I can give it. Any name you can give it. If any environment variable you want to edit, you can edit from here. And for the time being I am just not giving anything in my logs. I don't want to log anything. For health check, again you can set it up that health check for that container. So what I'll do is I'll just copy this and I'll try to hit local host, means it will by default go to it will open. So what this command is telling, it will open cell, then it will curl to this local host 80 port, and 80 port is what where our engine is running. So if it is if it executes successfully, then it will says that a health check is at that Health check will show that green signal, and if it is failing means it will just exit with that one code. Time interval, I will keep it 30-second. Timeout, all those details I want to keep it whatever that by defaults we are having. If any other changes you have, any other dependency you have with respect to your containers, you can add it here based on your need. Any other container you want to deploy, that you can add it. Then in storage, I don't want to add any additional storage. If you have requirement, then you can add that additional storage as well. Monitoring is optional, that if you want to utilize that monitoring service of AWS as well for this ACS, you can just go and enable this as well. And then again, tags, if you want to give it, you can give it. I'm not giving, I am just keeping all that by default details, and I'm saying just create this definition. Now it says like this status is active for this definition. Cluster is also created, but for now here we don't have anything. I'll just go inside the cluster. Now I will create a service to deploy the task which definition that to deploy the task definition which we have created. So let me create the task. I'm saying like compute option, that launch type, I don't want to launch the task directly independently. Then forget we are using application type is service, and I can just select that family that recently I created Nginx deployment, right? Service name I can name as service Nginx service. I can give it that logical name. Replica, let you can define like how many replicas you need, like number of containers to to serve your request. So let's say this is just for a demo, so I'm just saying like desired task is just one. Deployment options, service connect, all those things. If you want to connect to any service, then you can turn it on and you can define all those things. Networking, here it says it is taking that default network. So maybe what I'll do is like I'll just create one network, one VPC for me. If you are not aware what is that VPC, then you can refer my videos where I have clearly explained about VPC, what is it, how we can create it, and all those things. I have covered everything I have covered about VPC. If still you have any doubt, you can just ping me. So this is the VPC we already created in that project. So I'm gonna use the same VPC. So let's say this is that project VPC, and I'll just I am just trying to deploy this in publicly, so I'll just remove this private subnets from here. Security group, I'm just using the default one. Public IP, I'm just saying turned on, so that I will be able to access directly this container with the help of public IP. If you want to use load balancer with this, then you can say application no load balancer or network load balancer based on your needs. So you can just define that. For now, I am not defining. Then auto scaling part also, if you want to define an auto scaling rules for the desired number of count of that particular task, you can define that. For now, I'm not defining. If any volume mount you want to do it, that you can do it. Then tags, if you want to give it, you can give it. I am just keeping all the things as default. I'm saying create. So now this service is in progress to deploy that particular task definition which I have created. So what is happening is, first we have created cluster, then we have defined that task definition, then I have created one service. There's in that service I have mentioned which task it needs to deploy. So that task definition I have mentioned there, Nginx deployment, and now it is in progress to deploy that. So let's wait for some time. What it will do, it will in backend, what it will, if you want to see the logs, means what you can do, you can just click on this. It will show you like what this ECS is doing in a backend. So you can see service, all those things, create in progress. It says if any error is there, then here it will throw that error. If that is completed, means it will say create completed. All those things logs will get logged here. So those things you can see all the events. And as I told you, like if you are having requirement to deep dive into your container, like container logs or complete monitoring, you want to do it, then you can just uh, enable everything from that monitoring, then that metrics and all. You will be able to see what is happening. So now I could see this service is active, that deployment is completed, the task is up and running. So if I just click on that this task, so here we'll be seeing that you can see that health status, it is healthy, right? So if you will not define that health check there, means you will not see any status here. And then now what we will be doing is we'll be just clicking on that public IP which we get it for this container. So this is that public IP which we got for this container. So what we deployed that Nginx, it is running on 80 port, and this is that public IP of that task. If I'll just give this, see, you are seeing that welcome to Nginx page. I didn't give that port because by default this is taking an protocol as HTTP. So if you will not give any port, mean by default it will take that 80 port. So even if I give that 80 port, means it will route me to the same page. So you can see this page is getting loaded from Nginx. So here we could see like we are successfully able to deploy that Nginx in that ECS container, and this is that public container. Means what we did, everything is in public subnet. We have attached public IP to that task, means it is completely publicly exposed. Anyone can access it. If we want to restrict anything, means we need to deploy it in private subnet. Everything should be in private, and then we need to use load balancer and all to keep it in our private network. But here I showed you like how we can deploy into ECS with public access. Public access means in public subnet, and with that public IP, directly with the help of that IP we are able to access our service. So this is how we will deploy it. If you have any doubt, you can put it in a comment or you can directly message me. I'll help you out. So I hope you got. So maybe one more time I'll explain you what all things we did here, so that you will get more clarity. First, we created one cluster named as demo cluster. Then we defined the task definition here, that Nginx deployment. So this is the task definition where we have mentioned how many that CPU and all requirement is there, and everything we have defined here. Then we have created one service where we have mentioned that where it needs to create that cluster, means cluster, sorry, the where it needs to deploy that Nginx container. So we have mentioned our VPC. This VPC, it got deployed into this project VPC that we have mentioned there, and then public subnet we have mentioned in our service definition. And we have mentioned like what is the task definition. So we have mentioned the task definition which we have created here, Nginx deployment in our service. Then number of instances we have mentioned there. And then what we said like just create this. So what happened in the backend? In backend, that task tried to pull that Nginx image from our public registry. So from Docker Hub, it pulled that Nginx image and it ran on 80 port. We have exposed that particular port. If you will see that security group, we have enabled everything there. So this is that security group. If you will see what we say, just all the traffic is enabled. If you will delete this and save this, what will happen? You will not be able to access this Nginx page, because now in security group label we have blocked this. After some time you will get timeout here because we have blocked that particular connection. That is the reason why let me open in a new page, it will take a lot of time. See, it is keep on loading. It is not loading that particular page. See, this site can't be reached. This IP took too long to respond. This is because we have blocked this one from. See, this site can't be reached. Here we are seeing that same error. Now what I'll do is like I'll just in security group. What I'll do, I'll just enable that. Now I have added one rule to get a traffic on 80 port. I'll reload this and you are able to see that response, right? So that's all for this video. If you have any doubt with respect to this public deployment of any image through ECS, then you can just drop a message or drop a comment in a comment box. I'll have a look and I'll try to help you out. Thanks for watching this video and please like and subscribe my channel. Thank you so much.